Every morning, the countdown begins for the markets with meticulous research and analysis designed to help you capitalize on the trading day. Beaming live from the CNBC TV 18 Motilal Oswal studio.
You're watching us here on Bazaar Morning Call, live from the CNBC TV 18 Motilal Oswal studio. I'm Mangalam Malu, with me Ekta as well as Nigel. Good morning, guys.
Well, good morning, Mangalam. Good morning, Ekta. And, it's a new look Bazaar that we have today. It's not just a new look Bazaar, it's a very, very important day. All through the day, we're going to be getting treats and good wishes for my brother, Mangalam. Wishing you a very, very happy birthday, Mangalam. Good luck, prosperity, happiness, everything that you choose and wish for, I wish it for you, brother.
Thank you so much, Nigel.
Happy birthday, Mangalam.
This
is going to be a long day for you, considering that it's going to be back-to-back shows. But we do have a lot of news on your birthday as well.
Well, as you say, when you're playing, it doesn't feel like you're working, and that's all we need, right? With team members like y'all, it's so much more fun. It's added to all of that. You said all the good wishes, this, that, and Nigel, just 3 words. Get richer, fitter, smarter. That's it.
Absolutely.
That's all we need, and that's all I guess we wish for everyone as well.
Well, that's right, Mangalam, and you've been following the template as well. So good on you, mate. Wishing you a good day, a good year ahead. And let's get straight to the market action.
All right, let's get straight to the market action, though. If you look at the Wall Street overnight, there was a snapping of a 7-day rally that we saw on the S&P 500. So if you look at all the frontline indices, they saw a bit of a decline. What was interesting is that we also saw a bit of a decline, a little more on the broader market. So the Russell was down by over 1%, and thereafter we saw the CBOE Wix rise by about 5.3% as well. Two things I'm watching out for from the US market standpoint. After a big rally that we've seen, some bit of profit taking, one would say that, okay, that's no concern. But a couple of things. Oracle, that one was down about 2.5% in yesterday's trading session. Reports of them, actually losing some money, or the cloud business being margin dilutive or lower than analyst estimates, has the street worried a little more about the AI valuations. Remember, we've seen a big rise in all AI-related stocks. So is this a start of, the street questioning the AI rally or not, is something that I'll be watching out for. The second part is there was a fair amount of excitement in the previous trading session ahead of Tesla's reported new launch, and then that turned out to be a bit of a weaker than expected sort of launch, because they've announced a lower priced entry level variant, and as a result of which Tesla was down about 5.5% in yesterday's trading session as well. So those are a couple of things I'll be watching out for from the US market standpoint. If you look at some of the near-term triggers that we have, you have the US Fed minutes that will be revealed today, so that's something we will track. And ahead of that, all the US macros, they're by and large stable. Yes, there has been a mild spike, so to say, in the US dollar index, but nothing really to complain about. The big story of the morning is gold. That's crossed $4,000 per ounce for the first time ever. So that's something we will most definitely keep, watching, as there is some risk off which is taking place in the equity markets after a 7-day rally on the US. Can that mean that higher gold prices would come by? You have a lot of investors now calling, Ray Dalio, etc., were calling for higher prices on gold. So whether that sustains or not is something we'll be watching out for. But out here in India, we have the crude oil prices, which are fairly benign. The Asian markets are doing a lot better. The Japanese index, the one which is trading right now, the others, mildly lower, nothing really to complain about. And the Nifty yesterday did okay-ish. There was a tug of war. Yes, the expiry-related factors led it to move around the 25,100 mark within a 100-point range from 25,080 to 25,200. I'll be very interested to see how the IT index performs today and how Reliance performs today. The Nifty is being led by Nifty Bank, but Reliance is at a very crucial zone. Yesterday's close was 1385, the 20-day moving average 1386, and the 50-day moving average 1387. So in absence of performance coming in from the IT pack and outperformance coming in from the Nifty Bank, can Reliance power the next move of the Nifty or not, is the big question that we'll be tracking in our local markets. The GIFT Nifty, for starters, comes up for you after a weakest start that we saw on Wall Street yesterday. The GIFT Nifty indicates a flattest start that we have out here. But yesterday's volatility, a lot of it on account of the F&O expiry, Does that continue into this week or not? Let's go across to Nigel. Nigel.
Well, that's right, Manglam. Yesterday actually was a good trading session, but just towards the end, the final 60 minutes or so, we saw the weekly expiry factor that did play out, and that's why the Nifty towards the end of trade, in fact, the last tick was closer to the low point of the day. So that's what troubled the Nifty yesterday. But otherwise, there are a couple of positives. We pointed this out yesterday, that the FIs from being net sellers of around 2,500 crores, it came down to around 1,500 crores. Then the net sell number came out to around 500 crores. And guess what? Now, in fact, that's U-turned. Now they're buyers to the tune of close to around 1,400 crores or thereabouts. So good sign out there. The FIs have turned net buyers. You'll say the element out there could be of these large trades, but yet them turning buyers is extremely good news. On the flip side, you have the DIs as well that continue to show the money. Yesterday, relatively less, but institutions were net buyers to the tune of close to around 2,000 crores. Good news out there. And the screen was telling you there's a bit of a short covering bounce that's playing out. And that's precisely the way it moved yesterday, because the Nifty and the Nifty Bank, both of them ended higher. And the open interest was lower on both of them. And by the end of the trade, well, the FIs, they went ahead. And for the first time in a while, they went ahead and they covered some shorts. 8,000 contracts is what they covered. 93% of their positions still on the short side. So this market is still pretty much net short. And that's the way it played out in trade yesterday. Moving to the options data, well, now all eyes on the 25,200 call. Good amount of open interest build up out there. The premium around 100 rupees. So that's telling you 25,300 will be the next level that the bears will want to defend. While on the downside, the 25,000 put continues to see a good amount of writing. Now, plugging in the options data, plugging in the the data points that we have, the technical factors as well. Yesterday's high will be crucial. You'll want the Nifty to try to get past yesterday's high, because on the day-to-day basis, it's been making higher highs. If that trend needs to continue, we'll need to take out this mark. So that's going to be the important resistance mark just for today's session. And on the downside, since there is writing being seen at around the 25,000 odd mark, the previous trading session, we went to around 24,900. That's the first level of support that I'm looking at. The Nifty Bank is trading above all averages, the simple moving averages, 20, 50, 100, 200. First reference point will be around the 100 DMA. That's close to around 400 points away from current level. So that's the first reference point that you have. A stock that I'm looking at is Vedanta today, because there is that demerger hearing. The NCLT nod will be awaited out there. And we're talking about gold. Silver as well is seeing a bit of a melt up. And the only way to play silver is via Hindustan Zinc and in turn Vedanta. So Vedanta, midway through the trading session, we'll be getting that verdict with regard to the NCLT. So that's the stock that I tracked today.
Okay, all right, Nigel. Thanks very much for that. So that's a lot of the statistics as well as the cues that you have lined up for today's trading session. But on to equities. Rhythm Desai of Morgan Stanley says for their coverage universe, their analysts expect a low single-digit rise in profit and high single-digit revenue growth, with numbers distorted by several one-offs. He says this quarter is likely to transition India into higher earnings growth given all the policy stimulus. He adds financials and energy have witnessed the highest positive earnings revisions in the past 3 months. He recommends lenders, consumer and industrial stocks going in to earnings season.